Welcome to Toffee TV. We are going to have a chat about this fella, James Rodriguez, in the news again. Obviously back training now, being out with a calf injury, back training again. Looks like, fingers crossed, he's going to be fit for Everton's next game at home against Crystal Palace. But while he's been out, there's been a lot of talk amongst Evertonians, but also other people who've got involved. Richard Keys, who's been on our show, made a claim last week that Everton are actually better without James Rodriguez in the team. And so I thought we'd have a little chat and a little look at, are Everton really better without James Rodriguez in the team? Or how much better are we with him in the side? Which straight off the top of my head is we're better with him in the team. That's my thing of with my eyes without looking any deeper than that. What about you?
Yeah, considerably better. Richard Keys must be watching matches through binoculars from Qatar.
From Qatar.
If he can't see. I think some people have this impression of not only James Rodriguez, but people like him, players like James Rodriguez, that they are, fair coat, no knickers, let's just say.
Okay.
There's summertime players. Oh, as soon as it gets a bit cold, they go and disappear. Well, I mean, that's been floating around the Premier League for 20 odd years, that kind of thing. And it's been dismissed so many times by so many players, it's ridiculous. What we have on our hands is a player who is an outstanding talent, probably one of the best players that Everton fans have ever seen on telly.
Yeah. Because it is a TV sport at the moment.
And, I don't know whether we'll be able to fully appreciate him till we are back in the stadiums. But he certainly is one of the best talents that we've witnessed. So to even consider that for people to say he's better, because people don't think he does things, people don't think he runs, people don't think he tackles, people don't think he does enough. Simple fact is, we've got a player that I believe, and I think probably you believe as well, that if he was anywhere near a level of consistent fitness, that he would not be at a club like Everton. And that's sometimes just the way it falls. Sometimes they're the players you've got to get into the club to, sometimes when you're trying to change things up, sometimes when you're trying to cause an evolution or even a revolution at your club, you have to buy into bringing a mercenary to your club or someone who's maybe past their best, whether it be technically or just because of fitness. And that's what we have with James Rodriguez, and we have to...
Not a mercenary.
Certainly not a mercenary, no. We know he's not a mercenary. But, I think back Man City, when they bought, like, Robinho and people like that, sometimes you have to... It's a name to pull people and go, oh, and we know we've done all this, we've been through all this. But I think what we're going to talk about now will show that he is, certainly worth his weight in maybe not gold, but another
pounds,
another precious metal.
I think that the thing as well, just before we get into it, is that we knew when we were getting him that his injuries, he's played more this season than he's played in his last 3 seasons.
Yeah.
So we know that injuries are a problem for him. You're absolutely right. Had he been fully fit, he'd probably still be playing for Real Madrid. Yeah. That's the way it is. He wouldn't be at Everton Football Club.
And the other side to that is, how is this fella ever going to be as good as he is on Call of Duty if he hasn't got just a little bit of downtime? Do you know what I mean?
But that's one of the things, though, isn't it? I've seen, like, fans, like, when we've done videos or we've spoke about him in our news shows or whatever, people are like, oh, he's deciding to come back from his holiday, is he? And the lad's got injury.
Where would he have gone on holiday, by the way? I get that if I'd seen pictures of him, on a beach somewhere. But this is a fellow who can't even fly back to Colombia to play international games at the moment. No. So
it's his injuries that have been a problem, but we wouldn't have got him for nothing had he not had the injury.
And listen, what I would say is there are question marks about his injuries in terms of, does he look after himself?
That's come from the Colombian manager himself.
Has his diet, does his diet play a part in recovery and all these kind? We can't answer those questions. No. Simple as that. We can't answer those questions. Now, they could play a part in maybe his recovery, but it's not something new. And listen, The manager loves him. He loves the manager. He said it's like a father and son relationship. Read that just this weekend, him saying that. Said he's quite happy at Everton, integrated really well. He fits in the Premier League. And if we could, for me, it's just a simple fact of, because I think when you don't have a player who can step up and take the place of someone else, then that hole becomes more gaping. He's our biggest star, and I think it's noticeable when we haven't got him.
Yeah, definitely. And he's back, hopefully, for the final 10 games, and that means Everton have got a better chance of finishing where they want to finish because he's in the side. Let's have a look at the games that he's played so far for Everton. He's played 21 times this season. He's got 5 goals and 8 assists. Passing accuracy, 87%. He's got 21 key passes. Started 16, this is in the Premier League, 7 wins, 4 draws and 5 defeats in the games he started, with 2 clean sheets. And the Premier League goals in that time, 27 Premier League goals Everton scored in those games James has started. He scored 5 FA Cup goals with him and 4 Carabao Cup goals with him. And we're going to have a look now without him. So Everton have played 10 Premier League games without him in the squad. Won 7, 3 defeats, no draws, but have had 5 clean sheets in that time. Scored 13 goals without him, so clearly we score less when he's not on the side. Same amount in the FA Cup, 10 and 8 in the Carabao Cup. Basically, they were the first 2 games against Salford and Fleetwood. So just straight off the numbers when you look there, 7 wins with him, 7 wins without him. More clean sheets without him, but that also coincided with A, us having to stop letting goals in for fun, and B, a time when he was injured. And the manager decided, obviously we lost Luca Dean as well, so we went to having 4 centre-backs playing at the back, so naturally we became tighter. And he's come back and he played up front with Gylfi at Wolves when we played that system. He was instrumental at Anfield in, playing the last game he actually played for us was at Anfield, when he got us going with that early assist for Richarlison. So when you're looking at it that way, for me, the creativity side, the goals say it all for me. 27 with him in the side and just 13 without him. And we have found it difficult to score goals when he's not in the side.
It's a definite, you can see by the numbers, there's a definite lack of goals, but also there's a defence. We look better defensive. But I just think that's more of a mentality thing of, like, when he's not in the team, we shift to having a more defensive unit straight away. Because we know what kind of game we're going to be playing. And don't forget, we played games like Leeds where we purposely left them out the side because we knew we were going to play a system like that. And you can understand that. That's tactical. That's where the manager makes the tactical decision to say, you know what, tonight isn't your game. We play Saturday, we play Wednesday, we play Saturday, whatever it is. And we know what we're up against tonight, and we can do with leaving you on the bench. So I can fully understand that. You have that, but that's not his fault as a player. That's to do with the tactics of how we work as a team and how we haven't got other players around. And we've said from day one, literally day one, when we watched them, when we seen how important Seamus Coleman was going on the outside of him, we've not had that, and we know we sort of seen it starting to dwindle, and sort of seeing the pressure that was putting on Seamus Coleman because he wasn't coming back. I remember Liverpool exploited that straight away when we played them in the derby. They were the first real team to exploit that. And then the week, when we played Southampton, and he clearly wasn't fit because of what had happened in the derby. And there was no Seamus Coleman, and they were attacking Ben Godfrey, wasn't he? Straight away. So, you can understand that, but that's dealt with if you've got better players, if you've got more mobile midfielders, if you've got a right back that's putting pressure on the opposition. But certainly on the offensive side of things, it's clear as day. We don't create the kind of opportunities that we create when he's in the side, because I think when he's in the side and he's fit, because you can definitely tell the difference when he's not on it, is that people pay attention to him. People look at him as a major threat, and the way he drifts around the pitch, it gives the opposition a real problem. They don't know where to track him. They don't know who's going to follow him into the centre, because really, he's been playing off the right, but he's a number 10, and that does cause a problem if you haven't got a right back who's going to keep going forward and a midfielder who's going to come over. We did the Decore video, didn't we? We looked at how much Decore was having to go over to the right-hand side. We've seen that all season. So you have good if you have good players and you put them in the team, and the more good players, the better your team's going to be, obviously. So I think that's what that shows anyway.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the goals, scoring goals, creating goals, it's a huge. There's been a huge drop off early. Some games we've looked all over the place. I mean, he played at United and Liverpool, which is two tough places, and we scored 5 goals in those 2 games. So, I know we wasn't on the pitch when we scored the third at United and the second at Liverpool, but he'd already scored at Old Trafford and created at Anfield. So,
I think a game like Fulham away showed the kind of influence he can have on a game where he doesn't directly assist, but he's pulling the strings in the middle of the park, and he's getting the full-backs wide. Iwobi did really well that day on the right-hand side. Dean did really well on the left-hand side. And the way he manipulated and drew people in and created that space with really clever... I mean, you look at some of the passes he played that day, over the top, and some of those balls that he can create out of nothing. Now, go back to the West Brom game, the ball he played over the top, Richarlison squares it, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin's got a tap in. And we've seen, I think, Dominic Calvert-Lewin doesn't look as effective when he's not in the side, because I think it allows us to get the ball into areas which Dom likes them, creating the crosses and things like that. So I think that's been for me pretty obvious. We create more chances when he's in the team. It's as simple as that.
It is as simple as that. I mean, people have levelled things. He doesn't work hard, or he doesn't tackle or do this, but his tackling's actually at 1.4 a game, which is what some defensive midfield players. I know it's about pressing and that, but he certainly does put the tackles in when he's in there. But just have a look at his heat map for people who don't think he works hard. I mean, his heat map, he pops up all over the pitch, predominantly over on the right-hand side, because that's where he starts a lot of the game. But you can see there, he's everywhere. He's literally everywhere, all over the pitch, and that's been really important. And going on to what you were just saying, then he does play off the right, but he goes in to that pocket there. That's the shaded area that he likes to drop into. Yeah. And what we found when he goes into there is that, like you said before, it's been really difficult for teams to stop him, and we're hindered. We're hindered, like you said, because we haven't had a Seamus Coleman. And then this is what ideally James Rodriguez would want, is dropping into that pocket of space off Dominic Calvert-Lewin. If we had, I know we've got Mason Holgate there because he's been there, but if we had, say, Max Aarons we've been linked with, he would attack that space. Luca Dean likes to attack that shaded area on the other side, which means that the whole pitch would be open up for James.
It opens up the pitch, and then, like we just said there, you've got mobile full centre midfielders who can get round the pitch, and this is something we saw. We've been used to for years with when we had Dean on the left, Baines on the left, and we had Seamus Coleman on the right, and how certainly when we had Roberto Martinez, and you had the midfielders dropping in, McCarthy, and you had Barry dropping in and taking the space, because if you know a full-back's going to go, it does open that space. And I just think how much space would James Rodriguez have in the pitch if suddenly he's got someone who can get up and down that right-hand side all day. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Because where he's in there, he drops into that pocket, he's looking around for that pass on, and Holgate's here behind him. That's just not that area of the pitch. But midfield as well, he could run.
But also, though, you need a decoy run. You need a player who can go wide for him, so that takes their defenders with him, opens up that space, and he's got an option. I think you can say that about, you can say that about Iwobi as well. Iwobi likes to drift into that pocket of space. Not having a mobile right back, it can't be overstated.
And another centre midfielder.
Well, yeah, but I think with the midfielders we've got, we actually could get away with it. I can't, that right back position, I just can't. It's just so crucial. We can't go forward having a static right back. It's not going to work, and we've seen that. We've seen how it hinders us with everybody we play on the right hand side. And I think if you've got someone like him, you've got to get pace around him. You've got to, because he slows it down to what he wants it to be. But if you've got pace around him, it's crucial. It's so crucial. We're not exploiting it. I just think his game would go up another level for us if suddenly you've got pace around him and
runners, isn't it? Legs and runners and other options. If you look at we're going to look at now the games where he's played. We just talked about coming off the right there. Well, there's the 21 games, 13 times he's been in that right forward position. He's played 4 at number 10, 2 attacking midfielders been sub. You know, and from that is assists, and the majority of his assists have come off that right position. And that is the key, because, you know, 17 goals he's been involved in there from stepping in. So if you've got him drifting in and you've got those runners going right and left, that's the key for him. That is the key. It's all right expecting him to do everything, because he's been this world-class footballer, and he's still a world-class footballer. But if you don't put the right part around him, then you're only getting 30, 40, 50% out of him. When if you actually have people moving and people bombing on down the wing, and like I said, another midfielder who wants to join in, all of a sudden they're taking players, they're making space for him to exploit, whether that be a shot, a goal, a through ball, a ball in behind, right and left. We've seen that switch early on when he'd come inside and bend it into space for Luca Dean. Well, that space comes because of movement. Whereas what we've seen lately, when like Burnley have come and just sat, there's been nobody.
I think we saw that in the Merseyside derby as well, and you know, on other occasions, you know, at times at Old Trafford, there's when he's playing as the genuine number 10, and he's got someone on the right, and it's not impacting him at all. I mean, that day we played effectively with 2 right backs, but it didn't impact him at Anfield at all. He's playing high up. No one knows where to go, and you've seen it with the pass for Richarlison. It's just instantly killed and passed at the same time. Old Trafford, we tried to set up a diamond and it didn't work quite as well. But you've seen there the second half when he scores the goals in the right position, because he's got that ability. And it's like it's about having him in the right position to exploit what he does well. Not everyone, we all want every player now to do everything in a way, and we've lost sight of. Some people just have raw talent where they play in a certain position, and you have to manage around them. And it's a little thing that's gone out of the game, I think, where it's like your best player can sort of do what they want. And I know it shouldn't always be like that, but you've got to build a team around your best player. And I think once the manager maybe gets a couple more players in to do that, and it can't be, don't get me wrong, it can't be for the short term, as in, well, it's all to suit him, because he's not going to be around forever. He's not going to play every game. But if you bring up the kind of right players in, it shouldn't really matter. You know, like you just said, Max Allen's or whoever, you've got a top-class right back who can get up and down all day. And that's what their job is, to put a shift in all day for you. It doesn't really matter if he's on the pitch or not. That'll work, but it'll work great for him, because he'll suddenly just be able to go, well, I don't have any responsibility. And ultimately, that's what we want. And like, you don't want him to have any responsibility.
No, because it's about, you've got components to make up a team. You want to get the best out of each one. You said it before, Iwobi, not everyone's cup of tea, I get it, but if you actually put runners in with Iwobi, it'd make his game better, because he's someone who likes to carry it and just pop it off. He's not going to do what we kind of think he's going to do, which is be a right winger who's going to dribble past players, whip crosses in. He's not that type of player. He's a link player, Iwobi. And that's what you need. I mean, if we look at just this one, this is the key passes, which again shows James. So these are open play key passes. James has 21 key passes. He's had 1 assist from that. Gylfi Sigurdsson's had 13 key passes. He's also had 1 assist. Iwobi, 15 key passes, has had 2 assists. Luca Dean, 20 key passes and has had 5 assists, but they're coming from wide
Just
areas.
Explain to me what a key pass is.
Well, a key pass is something that opens up. It's fed in, which leads to a shot on goal. So essentially it's like a big chance created almost. So it's not just a pass popping it off. It's the pass that leads to the shot. It's an
assist if they score.
Well, yeah, well, exactly. But the thing is, even on the pre-assists, which is another thing you can look at, James is in the top.
Like a thought assist?
Yeah. Well, it's a pre-assist is what he had to Fulham, which is twice when he shifted it wide and Dean put it in.
What Stephen Pienaar was the king of.
Exactly. So he's in the top 3 or 4% for that as well this season, and that isn't necessarily, I haven't put it down there or recorded it, but it shows that. But those key passes are something that is showing that him and Luca Dean are by far our 2 creative players. I put Iwobi in there because that's what we hope he is. Gylfi's in there because that's what we hope he is. But they've all got 1 assist each from a key pass, where because Luca Dean is crossing the ball into the area with Dominic.
Do you know what's quite funny about this though, right? Luca Dean's a really good example. And I'll tell you why about James Rodriguez, right? Are we defensively better without Luca Dean?
defensively we are.
Yes, we are.
We
Of course, we are.
Which is, well, the stats show we
If
are.
you put 4 centre-backs across the line, you put Ben Godfrey in there, we are more solid.
Yeah.
So the same
Nowhere
argument...
near as creative.
No, exactly. The same argument can be made.
Yeah.
Same argument. You could just go, you could pick up the stats and go, look how better Everton were when Luka Dean wasn't in the side defensively. And everyone goes, oh, yeah. And then you go, but look how many chances they created. And nobody I would imagine would say, leave Luka Dean out.
It's a trade-off, isn't it? It's always a trade-off with what you're doing. You want to be more attacking, you've got to have creative plays. You want to be more defensive.
You've got to find, and we've been saying this from about 6-7 weeks into the season, it's the balance.
Yeah.
Everton don't have the balance. And we know that because when we played the early part of the season, it all looked great. Your best team was out there and it all looked great. And the minute it started, just the thread started coming, then the balance was lost. So we've either had to be attacking like we were early part of the season, or then we got to November and the manager suddenly realised this wasn't going to work. So we just went, right, I've only got these kind of players. We're going to play ultra defensive. It's funny because it was when we lost Dean. We're going to play ultra defensive, 4 centre-backs, get wins, and it got us wins. And we've it's worked in away games. At home, it doesn't work. It's why we lose games at home. It's why we win games away. And it's that balance that we are striving for now. And it requires new players. It won't come with the players we've got.
No.
But certainly, a player like James Rodriguez will add to the offensive side. But you have to find that player who's the flip of him. Who's going to do, not his hard work, but who's going to do that hard work that to allow James Rodriguez to go up the pitch and get the most. Yeah,
isn't it? You get a player that runs up and down box to box, that's great and does the dirty work, that's brilliant, but then if he's not creative, we'll put someone in who's creative, and that's what he is. So to answer Richard Keys' question, Everton are not better without James Rodriguez in the side. We are, but a better team with him. He's a world-class footballer. We have to simply, the answer to me is we have to simply buy better players to accentuate what he brings to Everton football.
Defensively, we might look better, but defensively only gets you so far. Defensively, you go to somewhere like Chelsea and it doesn't work. No. So what else have you got to offer? Nothing. Yeah. And that's the problem. It can only take you so far. Man City at home in the cup, it's great for 83 minutes. The minute they score, you're done.
It's over, yeah.
It's over, isn't it? Yeah. Because you don't have that creativity. We don't have a player. We've got Dominic Calvert-Lewin and we've got Richarlison, and we know they can both score goals, but if someone isn't providing, then it's as simple as that.
The other thing for me, he's the 3rd top scorer.
Yeah.
Which is another thing. Yeah. 5 goals, no one else. Gylfi's got 4, couple of penalties. So, and on the open play, it didn't show his set plays. I mean, he's obviously got assists off set pieces as well because he puts in such a great delivery. So, he's key. He's key, and you're right. Get better players around him, get mobile players around him, and he will get even better. And Everton will be a better side, more offensive, because you're right. Defend will only get you so far. You're playing on the edge every time. You're playing to score the first goal, and if you don't score the first goal, and they do,
what are you going to do?
And all the games we've gone behind them, we've not really come back in most of them, have we? So particularly at Goodison, we've lost that 1 goal, and that's been it. Whereas had we had him most of the time and other runners, we'd have probably won the game. Yeah. So, I think it's quite a very unanimous thing here. Everton are a better side. I'd say much better when James is in the side. That's for us anyway. Let us know what you think. Are Everton better with him in the side, or are Everton better without him? Are you frustrated with his injuries? Maybe you are, but like Ped said, sometimes you just have to accept that with them. We didn't pay a penny for him. He's on good wages, but we got him while he's still a world-class player, but he's not a fit world-class player, and that's maybe the way it is. And we'll see, I guess, over the last 10 games.
Sadly, when you buy, we'll have seen with all of our players we bought in the summer that were obviously a certain age. We've missed Alan for a large period of the season. We're going to miss the Corey for the run in the season, and we've missed him during the season. So that's the problem when you buy more experienced players, and that's why Everton have to go now and buy young up and coming players. As we've seen with Ben Godfrey, with Ben Godfrey, he hasn't really missed too many games. So So that's, you know.
There you go. There you go. Let us know what you think in the comments section below. Give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and if you want more videos, join us over on Patreon. See you later.